now on the track, the women's 5,000-meter final. There is Mary Slaney. For more than 2 decades, she has been so much a part of American track and field. She has not done well at the Olympic Games, perhaps best remembered for clipping the heels of Zola Budd and falling to the track in Los Angeles in 1984. But for the debut of the 5K in Olympic competition for women, she decided to come back. She won her heat. Now she is ready to face her destiny in the final.
Bob, at the World Championships, the first ones ever held in 1983, she beat the Russians in dramatic fashion at both the 800 meters and the 1500 meters. Great races, and she was long remembered from there. From about 1983 to 85, she owned the world and was virtually undefeated.
Two-time Olympian at 10,000 meters, switching to the shorter event this year. This is Lynn Jennings, 35 years old, from Haymarket, New Hampshire.
She turns 36 very soon, and she's completed a very fine year of running. We'll see what it translates to in this 5,000 meters.
And another veteran in the field, making a bit of a comeback, Paddy Sue Plummer, trained as an attorney, the former American record holder for the time of 15 minutes flat, as you see, back in 1989. Two-time Olympian. Finished 5th in the 3,000 meters, which is the longest event the women used to run before the addition of the 5, other than the marathon, of course. And there is Amy Rudolph, just 22 years of age, among the leading contenders for the Olympic team in this event. That is very young.
It really is. She's got the fastest time. There you see the graphics. She ran 15:28 earlier this year. She graduated from Providence College.
There are the competitors in the field: Cheri Goddard, Libbie Johnson, Amy Rudolph, Carmen Troncoso, who ran a very strong semi, Kim Jones, better known as a marathoner, switching to the shorter event, Katrina Price, and Lynn Jennings, a 3-time cross-country world champion. Lisa Karnopp, Amy Skieresz, who also ran well in the semis, Katrina Price, and Cheri Goddard, we've already mentioned. The athletes are introduced. It's a big field.
14 of them all lined up, America's best at that distance.
Slaney 5th from the left. There you see Mary. There's Mary Decker, a teenager in pigtails. She stunned the world.
As a 14-year-old, she made the U.S. team versus the Soviet Union as a 14-year-old.
The old USA-USSR dual meet that produced so many great champions. Never forget Jerry Lindgren running the 10,000 against the Russians on cinder tracks.
Absolutely, and he won against the Russians. He won. The stadium came apart. About 65,000 spectators there that day. There you see Lynn. She has the white brim on those sunglasses that she wears. Number 1257.
12.5 laps.
Jennings, interestingly enough, has been on every American, or I say world, and Olympic team at 10,000 meters that the U.S. has had. She's the bronze medalist from Barcelona, but decided this year, why not point for the 5,000 meters, see what I can do.
Lisa Karnopp has taken the lead. That's Carmen Troncoso up on her shoulder. Lynn Jennings running 3rd. Jennings usually a front runner on the track, but in her semi she was content to run in the pack, and of course the reason for that is to conserve energy for this final.
Bob, slow pace, tactical. Let's see what happens here. Notice them are all bunched up. They're really holding back here.
Mary Slaney running at the back of the pack right there, now just beginning to move up.
That should play into her hands, the slow pace. 77.2 seconds for the first 400 meters. So we're talking about a 5:0, maybe a 5:14, 5:15 mile pace. That is slow.
Far left is Slaney, as you just saw, still holds the American records for 800, 1500, the mile, 2000, 3000. Once also held the records for 1,000, 5,000, and 10,000 meters. She simply was American female track running. While the field is still tightly bunched, the event begins to take shape. We'll take a timeout and be back for more live from Atlanta. Welcome back to a beautiful evening in Atlanta. The temperature seems to be dropping a little faster than we've seen in the first 3 days of these U.S. team trials. Here's Mary Slaney on the shoulder of Paddy Sue Plummer.
Bob, these three women right here that you're looking at all have very good speed. Plummer is happy to have a slow pace. So is Slaney, and as well as the woman that you see there in the white trim that I talked about, Lynn Jennings. She has very good kick.
Elva Dryer leading the pace here. A very slow pace it has been in this women's 5,000-meter final. As you can see, the field still very tightly bunched. A very tactical race. That will leave it to the kickers unless someone like perhaps a Lynn Jennings decides to force it.
For most everybody else in the race other than the three women I mentioned, Jennings, Plummer, and Slaney right there, this is a mistake. Those women have very fast 1,500-meter times. They have the ability to run 800 meters very fast, and they can accelerate and kick faster than most of the other women. I would think their only hope was to run a hard pace. Amy Rudolph obviously feels, and she's in blue right there at the right of the screen, that she can sprint with the best of them. Libbie Johnson feels she's got a good kick too. But for most of the rest, maybe a mistake.
Let's get down to the high jump. Here's Dwight Stones. Thank you, Dwight.
Kim Jones has moved up to take the lead. Known primarily as a marathoner, they went by the 1,600 meters, almost exactly a mile, in 5 minutes and 6 seconds, Bob.
Jones was an example of the kind of runner I was going to use that needs to go to the front, needs to force this pace. Now she has Mary Slaney, one of the fastest women ever in the distance events, on her shoulder. Elva Dryer behind. Paddy Sue Plummer is there. Annette Peters with the blonde hair bobbing, the sunglasses, running about 7th right now, is also capable of good speed. A 92 Olympian at the 3,000 meters and a former record holder at 5,000.
I've always been amazed at one thing that Mary Slaney did as a 13-year-old. Rarely can a woman who is a senior in high school and has run for 4 years get down to 5 minutes in the mile. And as a 13-year-old, she ran the mile in 4 minutes and 55 seconds.
There will be 5 laps to go in the 5,000 meters for women. This is a final. The top 3 will be on the Olympic team with the 3 athletes you just heard from. Remains to be seen who they will be. There is Mary Slaney with Lynn Jennings, the 3-time cross-country world champion, right there as well. Behind them, also in sunglasses, Annette Peters.
Peters trains up in Eugene, although Mary Slaney prefers to work by herself, and they don't run together. That is Peters with the blonde ponytail as well and the sunglasses.
Tall blonde is Cheri Goddard, running in 5th right now. There's Goddard running with Peters. Just ahead of them, Amy Rudolph in blue, running 3rd. Mary Slaney looking back at Jennings.
Bob, the pace is picking up. This is going to be an interesting next couple of laps.
The tactics are over. It's time to see who's got the speed. We'll be back in a moment to tell you. Welcome back live. 3 laps remain in the 5,000-meter final for women. 2 laps ago, Libbie Johnson, who runs at the head of the pack, was fading in 8th place. But in the succeeding 2 laps, she moved to the tail of the pack, and just as they last crossed the start-finish line, she surged into the lead.
Bob, what she's saying is, I'm not leaving this to the last lap. It's not going to be a kick. We went from 14 to then 8. Then Libbie moved up and spread the field out here. And right now there is 5 that are really in contact. Paddy Sue Plummer is out of it in the back. Mary Slaney right now is in 5th. Can she hold on here as Libbie Johnson in the lead has put on a terrific surge on this lap?
Johnson, Jennings, and Rudolph up front looking very strong. There is Mary Slaney.
And that is Goddard in 4th place and Slaney in 5th. That is the field as you see right now. Kim Jones has backed out. Paddy Sue Plummer has lost contact. That is Goddard in blue. Slaney right behind her. Jennings in the glasses, the sunglasses. Libbie Johnson from Colorado up there as they have 2 laps to go.
2 to go. You must leave nothing on the track in the final if you are to earn a spot on the Olympic team. Libbie Johnson, Lynn Jennings, Amy Rudolph are the top 3 right now. Cheri Goddard, and Mary Slaney charging. Now Slaney looking around.
Here's how the pace has gone. 5:06 for the first 1,600 meters. 4:58 after that. Then a 72nd or 4:40-mile pace was thrown in here by Johnson.
Now Jennings moves to the shoulder of the leader, Libbie Johnson. Rudolph right there. And now Mary Slaney moves up on Cheri Goddard.
1.5 laps to go.
Mary Slaney is going to come up and make it. Who is going to drop out of that front group?
Rudolph has speed. Johnson closed well at the Prefontaine and ran extremely well at 3,000 meters and beat Slaney.
And the crowd is coming to its feet for the first time since the 100-meter final 2 nights ago. 3 runners are in it. Mary Slaney trying to close on them. 1 lap to go. "73 seconds that last 400 meters, and Slaney is now there. Rudolph looks back. She can see Slaney coming. She knows who Slaney is and what she can do. 37-year-old Mary Slaney now makes her bid for the Olympic team. Lynn Jennings is having none of it. She tries to make a break. Libbie Johnson surged to the front of the pack, and now she must respond to Slaney.
Jennings in the lead, went to California for 3 months to work on her speed, and almost tripping again with Slaney. There goes Jennings.
What a nightmare that would be for Mary Slaney. Jennings now begins her kick. Arms pumping. She surges away. And now Mary Slaney is gritting her teeth and looking at her shoulder. Here comes Rudolph. Johnson is now 4th. Rudolph will challenge Mary Slaney. The crowd is screaming. Here's the time for Lynn Jennings. 15:28. Mary Slaney 2nd, Amy Rudolph 3rd, and Libbie Johnson, who did so much to break the race open, finishes 4th.
At 37 years of age, Mary Slaney goes to the Olympics again.
And you can bet that is a headline that will go out around the track world. Slaney, a strong 2nd in the U.S. trials. With all due respect to that woman, Lynn Jennings, I have a feeling Mary is going to get the headlines.
Jennings deserves a great deal of credit. It would have been much easier for her to make the Olympic team at 10,000 meters, Bob, and she chose the more difficult path, the 5,000, fraught with peril, and she came through.
Congratulations to our Olympic team in the women's 5,000 meters, an event that will make its debut on this track in about 5 weeks. Once again, Mary Slaney will be there in good company with Lynn Jennings, the 3-time cross-country champion.
You got to keep on moving, guys. You got to get them while they're
and with Amy Rudolph.
And for Amy Rudolph right there in blue, there's joy in the little town of Kane, Pennsylvania, where she's from. Fine high school career, did extraordinarily well at Providence College, coached by Ray Tracy, and she's now a 1996 Olympian. This crowd is thrilled. This crowd emotionally is thrilled. They're standing up on the backstretch over there. They're still standing all along the home stretch. The thousands that are here cheering on these 3 women, in particular, Mary Slaney.
Lynn Jennings, still coached by John Babington, who coached her as a high schooler many years ago. Amy Rudolph, at age 22, is going to be the little sister on the 5,000-meter team. 37-year-old Mary Slaney, 35-year-old Lynn Jennings. It's going to be a great Olympic 5 for the women.
Here we take a look at the back stretches. They're coming around the turn. And this was where Slaney made her move with 300 meters to go. She went from 4th and cruised up to get right behind Jennings. Jennings has superb speed, and she focused in San Luis Obispo, Jennings being from Newmarket, New Hampshire, and got away from the cold up there. And she said, my goal to go out there was to maintain my speed and get really sharp. At 35, you've got to do it. There you saw the trip. Almost again, Slaney went down. She held her form at the 200-meter mark and cruised away. Look at the arm action on Jennings all of a sudden. How faithful could this have been, Bob?
Oh, my. Memories of '84 when she and Zola Budd collided and the recriminations went on forever. That picture of Mary sitting in the middle of the track crying.
Watch this. Right
just as she grits her teeth. I don't think it was Johnson. I think maybe she was touched by Rudolph. This was 1984. Zola Budd running barefoot out of South Africa. Mary Slaney coming up from behind. Could not avoid contact. And down she went, ripping off her number in her attempts to regain her feet.
That was one of her 19 serious injuries that she has had in a 23-year career. And right here she bumps again.
Remember being lifted off the track in tears. Well, it was a potential nightmare right there, but it passed. Mary Slaney is on the Olympic team, and if she's not as fit as she was a few years ago, she has lost none of her sense of racing tactics. We'll be back with more live from Atlanta. What a long, strange trip it has been for Mary Slaney. After so many years at the top, so many injuries, so many surgeries, she decided to call it a career. And then when she heard there would be a 5,000 meters in an Olympics on home soil here in the USA, she went back into training alone as she traditionally does. And with a strong run to second place in this 5,000 meter final, she is on the team with Lynn Jennings and Amy Rudolph.
Bob, one of the humorous notes she said is, the last time the Olympics were on the soil, I was planted in the soil.
What a great story. And what a disappointment for Libbie Johnson, who stands on the 4th tier of the podium. She will officially be an alternate to the Olympic team. But she made that race, breaking it open with a couple of laps to go.
I'm all right.
Well, the men are going to have to come up with something here, Larry, my man. The women are producing extraordinary finals.
They are. And, you know, we again have a chance to do very well. There's very strong competition, possibly the Chinese. The Portuguese have several top runners over there. Portugal will send some strong representatives. This woman may be strong as well a little over a month from now in Atlanta. You know, you can't see it, everybody at home, but they're still on their feet standing for this ceremony, cheering on Lynn Jennings, Amy Rudolph, and Mary Slaney.
There you see them applauding. Jennings actually paused in her victory lap. Slaney continued up the straightaway, and as you watch the heads turn, there was no doubt who they were cheering for. Good luck to all of them in the Olympic Games in a month's time. Here's a look at the final results. A victory for Lynn Jennings, 15:28.18. Slaney second, 15:29.39. Amy Rudolph third, and Libbie Johnson fourth. For Annette Peters, Cheri Goddard, Kim Jones, a good race. The Olympic team has been chosen. We'll be back for more. Welcome back to Atlanta. If you're just joining us, you missed a beautiful sunset and an astonishing women's 5,000 meter final. Here's the stretch run. Lynn Jennings on the right, Mary Slaney in the middle, looking around to make sure her spot, as improbable as it may have seemed a year ago, her spot on the Olympic team is secure. Amy Rudolph comes charging up for third place. Libbie Johnson, who broke the race open with 2 laps to go, finished fourth. Let's get down to Lewis Johnson at trackside with our Olympic team.
Okay, Bob, these ladies have done it. They're excited. Lynn, incredible race. It was very tactical. This is your 3rd Olympic team, so I'm sure you're not surprised by tactics. But talk about the race for a minute and your joy for this moment.
I felt really comfy. You know, usually I run the 10, and when they give you your spikes and your race number, they give you a good book to go with the 10,000. But the 5 is more fun. It's faster, and gee whiz, I made my 3rd team. Hi, Mom.
I see you have a little blood on the foot down there. Is that indicative of a race like this?
That's what happens at a day in the office. You get a few spikes.
All right, Lynn, congratulations. All right, we'll see you back here soon.
Hi, Dad.
Amy, you've been known as the woman who's had the fastest time in the world in America so far, but now you're an Olympian. Which do you prefer, to be an Olympian or to have that fastest time?
Nothing beats going to the Olympics. It's been a dream of mine forever, and it's come true, and I'm so excited.
Well, congratulations to you. You'll be back here in about 32 days.
Yep. Hi, Mom and Dad.
All right, great. Mary, you've brought the crowd to its feet. I've seen people weeping just in awe of what you've accomplished tonight. It was a slow pace, but you were able to hang in there. Everybody stood in horror at 200 meters as you made a bit of a trip, sort of reminded us of '84. Take us back to that moment, would you?
Well, it reminded me a little bit. On the top of the turn, just as I was getting my momentum going, I felt like I was going to go down, but fortunately I didn't, and I was able to come back, and I'm really excited. You know, it's been a long road, and I just am so grateful that I'm going to be here when it counts, and I have a whole extra month now to get ready, and the weight's off my shoulders.
Yeah. Is this race, is this manifestation of a year of injury-free training? Is that what this is saying?
Well, I've been training now for about 6 months without injury problems, and I've been slowly building into it, and the 5 is really, really new to me, as you could tell the way I ran, and you know, I was trying to do tactical things, which I'm not used to doing, and I think I'll just get better with each time I run it.
Now, do you have a sense of satisfaction, or are you now in the medal hunt? What's the emotion? What's your drive, your desire?
Oh, I'm in the medal hunt now. I mean, it's like you take it one step at a time, and the first step was to run well enough to get on the team, and now I want to be in the medal hunt. So I am going to do whatever it takes this next month to get myself in the best possible condition and place for that. But I am planning to run the 15th, and so before that, I'm thinking 15 here.
Mary, congratulations. America's behind you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Bob, back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Lewis. A terrific performance by all of the Olympians at 5,000 meters.